Okay, hello all. It's Anni here again and with my sweet friend Mandy from Texas. And now finally I hope that everything works. So let's just make that sure. I'm gonna just check that we are on live, but I don't see us yet. Okay, there we are. And now I'm gonna just check that here again.
Oh, I'll put up my
and with
YouTube.
my
And if
friend.
anyone's on here yet, if they can hear me.
Yes, please. Now, if you hear Mandy, you can put something in the chat. Andy from
Which yesterday,
Texas.
it was, excuse me.
Wait a second, Mandy. I just make, before you continue, I make sure that finally I hope so. Let's just I hear your voice. Make that sure. I'm gonna just live, but I don't see with
YouTube.
my
And if
friend.
anyone's on here.
Yeah, I hear for us both.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good. So, okay. So first a little bit, we're gonna do this relapse topic. We wanted to do this. Also, we wanted to just make sure today that everything is working because of yesterday. We did spend 2 hours, just didn't get this voice work. But anyway, we wanted to do this a little bit educational video about caffeinism, anxiety and relapse, just because there are a few things that we have been learning in this journey and just noticing, because we have been following other people's journey also, and there are some points that I think are worth to put out there for you, anyone who is going through this journey, and maybe some of you have been relapsing and you want to go back on the train, you want to quit again, and it is important. And relapse, sometimes it happens, there is no judge. Relapse can happen for some people, but this is information is important to know, that why we want you to keep going and not go back to this horrible track. Ja mä käännän tän nyt suomeksi, eli tervehdys kaikille, eli nyt Mandyn kanssa ollaan täällä ja ääni toivottavasti toimii. Eli tässä videossa me puhutaan vähän niin kuin repsahtamisesta, kofeinismista ja ahdistuksesta ja miten ne liittyy niin kuin toisiinsa. Ja mä käännän tätä suomeksi ja Mandy sitten hoitaa englannin puolen, eli lähdetään nyt sitten siitä liikkeelle, eli tervetuloa kaikki tähän liveen, ja tämä mun kanavahan on tosiaan tukikanava kaikille kofeiinivierottujille, että jos oot uusi kanavalla, niin tervetuloa. And also if you are new subscribers and new to my channel and you're wondering what are these two beautiful, amazing women doing there, so I'm gonna just introduce my channel shortly. So this is a support channel for all of caffeine quitters, and that's our main information that we are putting out, so warmly welcome. And Mandy, stage is yours.
Yay, thank you. Yes, and also for the English speaking, you're going to translate everything I say in Finnish for the Finnish
Kyllä.
speakers. And so I'm going to try really hard again to just say quick sentences, and then you can translate. But yeah, today we want to really dive into relapse, because it is a big part of addiction. Relapses is. So if you're relapsing on any drug, especially caffeine, it's so hard. That is a normal part of the process if you really do want to be free.
Joo, eli tänään me tosiaan syvennytään tähän vähän niin kuin repsahtamiseen, eli jos sinä olet kofeiiniaddikti ja yrität lopettaa tai oot yrittänyt lopettaa monta kertaa, niin se repsahdus on monille, se on osa sitä addiktiota ja sitä tapahtuu, ja siitä sitten vaan eteenpäin.
Yes. And if you're like us and you have fallen off the mountain, as we say, and really got a burnout, anxiety symptoms from it, and our body went into shock being free from the drug, it just takes time. And now we know that we want to stay free forever. We don't ever want to relapse again.
Ja jos sä oot niin kuin sulla on käynyt niin kuin meillä, eli sä oot päätynyt tämmöiseen ahdistus-burnouttiin kofeiinin takia, siihen voi päätyä jonkun muunkin huumeen takia, mutta niin kuin meillä ei ole ollut mitään mahdollista repsahtaa edes uskallusta sinne, koska tämä on ollut niin järkyttävän vaikea tämä matka, niin jos sulla on tämä sama kokemus, niin muista vaan, että siinä kestää aikaa parantua. Että se vie aikaa ennen kuin ne kaikki oireet menevät
Yeah,
ohi.
and so yes, and so we just know we know so much now, and before I even knew about caffeineism, I really thought I just had a problem with alcohol, which I did, but now I know it was the caffeine. So many people talk about that it was the caffeine in the morning and then they needed the alcohol to calm down. But I never even knew about caffeineism. And if I stop, I'm going to forget what I was saying. But do you want to just go ahead?
Niin, että Mandikään niinku ei ennen niinku, ei se tiennyt niinku kofeinismista. Et ei se tiennyt, että kofeinismi on tavallaan se, niinku, miten mä sanoisin, niinku pohjahuume tai porttihuume. Että sitten Mandy meni niinku alkoholiin tavallaan sen myötä rauhoittaakseen hermostoa, koska se kofeiini aiheuttaa sitä hermoston ylivirittyneisyyttä ja sä menet sinne taistelee ja pakenet tilaa, niin sit sä helposti haet jotain muita huumeita, millä sä pyrit rauhoittaa sun hermostoa. Mutta kofeiini on ollut silti se pääjuttu. I just wanna make sure that I did translate it right. So you mean that caffeinism always was the main gay drug, and that did lead to you to alcohol and...
Yes, it was. But my whole point about addiction and about relapse is I always knew I was relapsing. I didn't even know that that's really what it was because I didn't know anything about caffeineism. But I always thought my problem just in life, in my functional, crazy life, that I just had a problem with alcohol. I never knew that caffeine was the problem. But my point about relapse is I was always relapsing on alcohol. I was never relapsing on caffeine because I never quit. But I was always trying to start and stop with the alcohol. And I never knew that what I was doing, because I was like, I'm going to do a cleanse. I'm going to just cleanse out for a few months from the alcohol and then go back when my body's a little cleansed. And then I would always go back, not knowing that that was really the brain wanting the drug, and it was really relapsing.
Joo, eli Mandykin kertoo, että ei se koskaan niinku, alkoholin kanssa se aina niinku saattoi just lopettaa ja mennä takaisin, mutta ei se ikinä tiennyt, että kofeiini oli se niinku, porttihuume, että ei koskaan lopettanut kofeiinia, niin kuin en minäkään. So you did just quit alcohol and went back and quit, but you never did actually quit caffeine.
Right, so because I was really focused on my food issues and alcohol, and just caffeine was just a normal part of my life for 35 plus years. It was something that I did every day. I had no idea how it was affecting me, to even consider it being relapse with caffeine, because I had it in some form every single day, a Coke, a chocolate, then moving on to the teas and the energy drinks and the coffee out of the wazoo. It was just in my life every day. It wasn't even like, do I have a problem with it? Am I going to relapse from it? I didn't even know I was relapsing from alcohol, but I knew I had a problem. But then I get into this, quitting caffeine, and then I realize how relapse can happen with caffeine too for people. But to truly understand, I guess my point is, like, I really didn't understand even the drug aspect of caffeine at all back then. How I know now that the aspect of the alcohol, of the caffeine, of all mind-altering substances.
Joo, eli lyhyesti ehkä sillä, että Mandy ei koskaan aikaisemmin silloin, kun käytti kofeiinia, niin ymmärtänyt tavallaan sitä kofeinismia, että koska niitä kofeiinin lähteitä oli joka puolella, alkoholi, suklaa, tee, kaikki nämä. Ja nyt niin kuin Mandy tavallaan ymmärtää, mitä se niin kuin tarkoittaa, että se kofeinismi ja miten se johti niin kuin alkoholismiin ja kaikkiin muihin niin kuin mieleen vaikuttaviin huumeisiin. Mä en tiedä, käänsinkö mä nyt tätä ihan oikein. I don't know if I translated it right, but basically what you wanted to say that now you understand all about the caffeinism and how it always was the root cause, and how you just did try to kind of fix things with other drugs to make yourself feel a little bit better.
Right. And I was always trying to take different supplements and change my diet. And I was just always finding myself going back. And I didn't know. And again, I had no idea caffeine was in my life and causing me so many problems. But I just didn't understand relapse. I didn't understand the addiction aspect and how it was. My brain knew it wanted it. Like it wouldn't even let me know that it was a drug. Really, like I was so clueless about caffeine, and definitely clueless about relapse or just the fact that I couldn't even get away from the caffeine in the first place.
Niin.
And then, but I saw it I saw it in the alcohol addiction aspect.
Et Maddie on kyllä nähnyt sen niin kuin alkoholismin näkökulmasta sen repsahtamisen, mutta ei koskaan kofeinismin, niin kuin en minäkään. Eli monet kofeinistit ei pysty näkemään sitä, että millaista on olla sen huumeen vaikutuksen alasena, koska ei olla edes tietoisia siitä, että on mitään kofeinismia, koska ne aivot toimii lievässä psykoottisessa tilassa. Aivopuoliskot ei toimi yhteistyössä, niin sitä on hyvin vaikea itse tunnistaa sitä tilaa. Ja sitä ei edes ajattele, koska ei ole koskaan edes ollut ilman sitä huumetta, eikä edes koskaan yritä lopettaa. Moni ihminen ei koskaan yritä lopettaa kofeiinia, koska ne ei tiedä olevansa kofeinisteja. So many people doesn't never try to quit caffeine because they don't know about the caffeinism or they don't recognize the state that they are in, like I was definitely one of those people, and you probably were too.
Definitely. And that's what now I do know. So I wanted to make it so clear how clueless I was and now how aware I am that it really is such a drug and it really is an important drug to be off of, just like the alcohol, just like any other drug. But it's like almost one of the most, it is the most, like you said, the gateway drug, it is the most important one. It's the baseline drug. It's the gateway drug for all the others, in my opinion. This is what happened to me. We always are talking about our own opinion, so.
Eli nyt Mandy on hyvinkin tietoinen siitä, että kofeiini on porttihuume kaikkiin muihin huumeisiin, ja ne kaikki muut niin kuin huumeet ja lisäravinteet, niin ne on vaan tavallaan ollut sitä, että on yrittänyt paikkailla sitä omaa olonsa siinä kofeinismin tavallaan oireiden kirjossa, ja joillakin ihmisillä ne oireiden kirjat voi olla erilaiset kuin toisilla, mutta ihan varmasti kofeiini kaikkiin jollakin tavalla vaikuttaa, varsinkin kun sitä alkaa käyttämään pitkiä aikoja. Ja itse uskon, että koska se on myrkky, hermomyrkky, solumyrkky ja huume, niin se ihan varmasti vaikuttaa kaikki. So basically, when we were trying to take all these other stuff, like I was not big in alcohol before I quit because I already quit alcohol after my 20s, but I was big supplement user and I did use like CBD to calm my nervous system, for example. And like I was always trying to some things like meditation and stuff to calm my nervous system, but I also never didn't know that it's actually the baseline now when I have been quit to be calm and my brain is starting to function like they should finally, slowly, I'm not there yet, but slowly. And the caffeine was always the cause.
Yes.
Eli kofeiini oli aina itselläkin se syy ja sitten aina yritin lisäravinteilla ja vaikka millä keinoilla aina sitä omaa oloa kohentaa, mutta en silloin tiennyt, että se tämmöinen normaali olo, mikä nyt on, ja kun aivot toimii, niin en tiennyt, että tämmöinen on edes mahdollista, ja että se on ihan luontainen olotila. Do you want that we're gonna check a little bit chat?
Yeah, and I wanted to say I know you said smiley face to Michael, but I just wanted to say hello. And
Kari is there, and
Jaakko,
and
Jaakko, hello.
Yeah, Jaakko
and I'm just glad. I'm glad that these help.
Michael. I just saw a group 12-year-olds in grocery store. Every one of them had energy drink. Yes. Energiajuomia. Se on hullua.
Okay, because we were on Cokes in junior high, when we were that age, and it was affecting us. It was affecting me. But we didn't have energy drinks back then, because I think Red Bull was the first energy drink that came out in 1997, something like that. And then now, 20 something or almost 20 years later, no, that's more than, it's 25 years later. It's like every line, every row in the convenience stores, especially, there's energy drinks now, and the kids are on them at 12 years old. It's going to be bad. Like people are really going to start falling off the mountain with these energy drinks because it's just this extra way of getting the caffeine it's just coffee and tea and all that is bad too. But like having the energy drinks available for these kids is not good.
Jep, eli energiajuomia on nyt joka lähtöön tarjolla. Ei ollut silloin vielä 20 vuotta sitten niin paljon, mutta ne tulee olemaan semmoinen asia, että moni tulee niin sanotusti tippumaan vuorelta, niin kuin me käytetään tätä sanontaa fall off the mountain with drug. Niin kuin jotkut ihmiset, ne vaan ajautuu siihen burnouttiin, ja silloin ei ole mahdollista enää palata siihen huumeeseen. Joillakin on mahdollista mennä takaisin ekan vuoden jälkeen, tokan vuoden jälkeen, jos sun hermosto sallii sen, mutta kaikille se ei ole mahdollista. Eli se riippuu, miten pahasti sä oot niin sanotusti niin kuin, no, miten se sanoo? How do you say, Mandy, like about the falling off the mountain? Is it just like our nervous system was already so much sensitized already because of the caffeinism and anxiety, so that's why we did end up, and that's why some people, even young people, end up having that anxiety burnout, what we call falling off the mountain, when you cannot go back to the drug and like.
Yeah, and I got that from Cato, and I get a lot of my stuff from Cato, and I make stuff up on my own too, but I get a lot of stuff from him because it's so true. It's like our body just said no more. Our nervous system said no more. To me, in my opinion, when you truly fall off the mountain, it means you cannot go back. Like people that can quit and then go back, because I was doing that with alcohol. If you can relapse, then you really truly haven't fallen. To me, in my opinion, you haven't fallen off the mountain. Falling off the mountain means your nervous system cannot handle because caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant. Your nervous system cannot handle the stimulant anymore. It says no. It says I'm done. It just can't. It's time to heal. It's time to like not put this drug in your body anymore. And all the years, it was telling us you're putting a drug in your body. You're putting a drug in your body. It was giving us signs and warnings with certain symptoms. But we hadn't fallen off the mountain. We were functional.
Mm-hmm. Eli niin kuin lyhyesti, eli jos sä päädyt tähän niin kuin burnouttiin, totaaliseen burnouttiin, niin silloin sä et voi repsahtaa, niin kuin meille kävi. Se on keskushermostomyrkky, ja sä et pysty enää niin kuin palaamaan siihen takaisin. Eli silloin, jos sä pystyt repsahtaa, sä pystyt menee takaisin kofeiiniin, lopettaa kofeiiniin, niin sä et ole tavallaan ajanut ittees loppuun asti sen huumeen kanssa. Se on niinku hienoa. Toivottavasti ei niin niinku tapahtuskaan kellekään, mutta sitten taas me koetaan, että tämä on ollut siunaus meille, että niin kävi, koska nyt me ollaan sitten tosiaankin ilman sitä ja matka jatkuu. So for us this really was a blessing, really still, even we did end up having this anxiety burnout. But
yes, it's really a blessing because we get to be free of the drug that caused us social anxiety. For me, social anxiety, some OCD things that you would have never known were affecting me, but in my mind and body, I knew. It's something that I just didn't share. My OCD stuff I didn't really share with people, like, oh, did I leave the stove on? Or, just stuff like you're just always in that fight or flight mode. So you're just always feeling like that fear, or like something's wrong or something. All that just calms down. But that was from the drug. But I was functional. And these kids that are on these energy drinks now, and they're going to Starbucks because they think it's a fun drink. And they're probably drinking Cokes too, and eating chocolate too, and probably doing all the caffeine sources. But they probably have symptoms like social anxiety, and they're probably fatigued, and they have to have it to be able to get up and function, to go to school, and they probably have to have it to somewhat do their work and concentrate. And then they might feel all these symptoms, and then they might go to the doctor at a young age, and the doctor what will they do? They'll prescribe anti-anxiety or antidepressants when it's like you're on a drug. Like people are just we're so passionate about this because it's so overlooked. And it's like it's a lot of it. I mean, yes, there's other traumas and things that can happen to people that make them stressed. It's all about stress. But it's like, let's look at it's so simple to look at the drug that we're addicted to, but we get so addicted. And I know I'm going Okay.
Yeah, go.
I'm just kind of ranting over it. It's just basically, it's like the kids and people. I mean, it's starting with the kids because of what Jocko said, that everybody, I mean, we're being affected, and then we're not realizing that the functional symptoms that we're having are most likely from this underestimated drug that the world is on in some form.
Niin, eli lapsuudestahan se lähtee se kofeinismi meillä monilla kokiksen ja suklaan kautta, ja sitten kun me ollaan niin sanotusti niitä toiminnallisia addikteja, ja nyt mä en siis tarkoita, että niin kuin Mandy sanoi, että onhan muitakin stressitekijöitä, on traumaa ja muitakin myrkkyjä, mutta koska tämä kofeiini on niin iso juttu oikeasti, että ihmiset ei sitä ymmärrä, että sitten voidaan olla niitä toiminnallisia addikteja, että nuorillakin on vaikka miten paljon mielenterveysoireita ja voi olla väsymystä ja sitten ne ei selviä koulupäivästä, ellei niillä ole energiajuomaa. Ja sehän jo kertoo, että sä tarvit jotakin, sä tarvit jonkun huumeen, että sä selviät sun koulupäivästä ylipäätään, niin ei se ole normaalia. Ja siitä se sitten lähtee ja sitten niitä oireita tulee yhä enemmän ja enemmän. Ja niin kuin me ollaan puhuttu siitä allostaattisesta tilasta, että kehohan hyvin paljon adaptoituu. Meidän keho pystyy adaptoitumaan siihen huumeeseen, toiset paremmin, toiset ei niin hyvin. Ja mitä se sitten kellekin aiheuttaa? No sit sä meet lääkärille ja meet, niin kuin itsekin menin silloin nuorena, niin ahdistuksen takia on ollut myös mielisairaalassa, niin siellähän annetaan sulle sitten pillereitä. Ja nehän ei sitä asiaa korjaa. So when the doctors give you pills and stuff, it never fixes the root cause. But nobody is telling you, even therapists, they are not telling you, they are not mentioning you. They should mention you that have you ever thought that your OCD or your intrusive thoughts can be because you are using caffeine high amounts, but nobody never mentioned that. So that's why we are passionate. Siksi me ollaan niin kuin tästä asiasta vähän kiihkosia. En mä tiedä, onko se oikea sana, mutta koska kukaan ei oikeastikaan tätä asiaa niin kuin mainitse, niin kuin se kuulus mainita ihan tuolla perusterveydenhuollossa. Oh, and one thing that I want to say, because when my boyfriend was sick, and I was there in the hospital helping him and like just watching him to get better those few days. So they were like giving coffee to every patient. Like there were hell of a sick patients there. But what do you get? You get at least 4 times a day coffee. So guess what? When like the nurse asked Riku that, do you want a coffee? And Riku said, I don't drink caffeine. What the nurse said, she said, do you want a tea then? So
you didn't tell me that. That's awesome.
Eli kun Riku oli tuolla, mun poikakaari tuolla sairaalassa muutaman päivän, niin mä olin sitten siellä, niin mä vaan kiinnitin huomioon kaikkiin asioihin, niin sitten siellähän saa niin kuin sairaalassa saa kahvia niin paljon kuin haluaa, tai teetä. No sen mä nyt tiesin kuitenkin, olen mä itsekin työskennellyt sairaalassa aikaisemmin, niin kuitenkin niin sitten hoitaja kysyi, että niin, haluatko sä kahvia vai teetä, ja sitten sanoi, että en mä käytä kofeiinia, niin sitten niin kun se sanoi, että en käytä kofeiinia, niin sitten se kysyy se hoitaja, että no haluatko teetä. Eli ihmiset ei edes tiedä, mikä on kofeiini. People doesn't even know what is caffeine. Like that, they pretty much, and that's not like blaming anyone. I was one of those very much unknown. It's not blaming. Ihmiset ei vaan, niin kuin en minäkään tiennyt, että ne luulee, että kahvi on yhtä kuin kofeiini. So they think coffee is as caffeine only.
Oh, right. A lot of people, yeah. Oh, okay. That's what I was saying. That's why I wanted to start off with saying how ignorant I was to caffeine at all. Any form of it. Caffeine was caffeine. I thought coffee was just, I was one of those people because I was told to get off coffee for my PMS stuff. And then I would go to green tea, and a lot of it, I would put 6 bags of green tea in my cup. Or I'd go have an energy drink. Like I was just so clueless about it. So yeah, not judging at all. This is all just information that what we learned. But I want to tell a story too about my dad, but you can translate all that. I'll write it down.
Eli se ei ole mitään tarkoitusta meillä tuomita ketään, nämä on vaan niin kuin havaintoja, mitä me tehdään. Ja just esimerkiksi siellä sairaalassakin, niin se havainto on just se, että kaikilla lääkäreillä on kahvikuppi, kaikilla hoitajilla on kahvikuppi, kaikki on tosi kiireessä ja sitten potilaillekin tarvitaan kahvia, niillekin, jotka tulee jostain tosi vaikeasta aivoleikkauksesta, niin kuin yksi mun kaveri kävi semmoisen, niin ensimmäisenä kun se tuli sieltä, niin se saa kupin kahvia, niin kyllä sillä kuule sairaalat pysyy tuottavina. Hospitals are making a lot of money when they are putting people on drugs. Of course there are other drugs too. Totta kai muitakin huumeita siellä tarjoilla.
Yeah. Well, could you imagine they're in the hospital for however many days and you don't get any caffeine in your body and your body is used to having caffeine and you don't get it, you're going to start withdrawing. So it's like, I don't even know if they know that or if it's just, it's not like a conspiracy, like, oh, we can't let them stop because then they'll start withdrawing and then they'll be on to us or anything like that. I don't think it's like that, but I think it's just so ingrained. It's like you want a coffee, right? Because like everybody's drinking it, but at the same time, if they don't get it, okay, the headaches are going to start, and the headaches are just the beginning of the withdrawal process, and that people can't even get past the headaches to even quit for real because it's so bad. And it's like you can't even get past that one little hurdle of the headache part of the withdrawal and the process to even understand what we're going through now.
Niin, että ei se ole välttämättä mitään salaliittoa, että ne siellä sairaalassa, kun ne antaa kahvia tai teetä, mutta ajattelepa sitten, jos potilaat ei saisi siellä sitä kofeiinia, niin mitä tapahtuisi oikeasti? Niin siellä kuule rupeisi tulemaan vierotusoireita, ensin päänsärkyjä, mutta niin kuin Mandy sanoi, että moni ei ylipäätänsäkään pääse edes niistä päänsäryistä eteenpäin, että se on siinä mitä ne kestää vierotusoireita, ja se on monille vasta alkua ne päänsäryt. Ja tämä ei ole mitään pelottelua, eihän kaikille tule edes vierotusoireita tai niin pahoja, mutta sitten kuitenkin toisille tulee hyvin pitkämoinen matka. Se on vaan tämmöistä havainnointia. It's just what we are seeing now in ex-addicts or always addict. Addict is always addict. I think like there is no going back. And addikti on addikti, niin kuin meikäläinenkin on kyllä siinä mielessä aina kofeiiniaddikti, että ei mulla mitään halua ikinä mennä siihen huumeeseen. In that sense that I don't want to ever go back to caffeine, like that's what I mean. Addict, like.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that too, because like now that we know so much and we know about so many things that we've learned, but why would we want to go back to a mind-altering drug that changes us when we don't need it, when it just takes time to get.
Niin miksi sä haluaisit edes mennä siihen miksi sä ikinä haluaisit mennä jonkin hermomyrkkyyn? Siis semmoiseen oikeasti, no siksi sä meet siihen, jos sä oot addikti, niin mikä muu syy siinä on? What else is the reason?
Yeah. But could you imagine telling people that don't want to quit? Because a lot of the people on your channel have already quit or they're wanting to, but just telling people that giving all this information to people who are truly, truly addicted, they're just like, I don't want to quit my drug. They don't want to quit. They love it. They need it. They probably don't know that the symptoms that they are having are from it and that it could make it so much better. But even if, like my father-in-law, with his sleep and stuff, he knows his sleep would be better, but he's getting more benefit from consuming the drug than the many, many benefits he would get from quitting it. But he's not willing to take that jump because he's probably not close to falling off the mountain for whatever reason, but he's still affected by the drug.
Moni ihminen, joka on silti vaikutuksen alaisena, niin ei ole ehkä sitten kuitenkaan valmis käymään sitä prosessia läpi, mitä niin kuin etuja siitä voisi sitä lopettamisesta saada, koska ei ole tavallaan niin pahasti, niin kuin se ei vaikuta niin pahasti, että silleen, että pystyy kuitenkin elämään joka päivästä elämää, niin sitten ei ole sitten välttämättä valmis lopettamaan sitä. I hope I did translate it right. So basically the main message was that people are not like ready to go through what it takes to quit because they can be functional with the drug.
And they get upset. Yeah.
When they age, old people also they give caffeine to old people when they are in the nursing homes.
Right. And my father-in-law, his nervous system is resilient. This is kind of something that I learned about how every generation is getting weaker and weaker just because of so many reasons, but his body can handle a certain amount of a drug like caffeine. It can, and for whatever reason. But my father-in-law, because of this reason, he was a pilot. Pilots have to be very in control. They have to be in control. They have to be able to handle a whole bunch of different things going on. They're flying a plane. I mean, the plane pretty much flies itself, but you're still in control. You're still in charge of all these people's lives. Like you have to be a calm cucumber type person, calm as a cucumber. Some people's nervous systems are just naturally like that. And so for him to be able to consume caffeine and still be calm, I mean, I think that he would totally benefit from it, but his nervous system, you could just tell his nervous system is strong, is that he's able to handle caffeine for whatever reason. But
Was it your father-in-law?
yeah, my father-in-law. Yeah.
Eli Mandy,
He's a pilot.
onko se sitten niin kuin Eno, niin on kuitenkin lentäjä, että se lentäjänähän pitää pystyä olemaan tosi niin kuin semmoista hyvää hermostoa ja pysyä rauhallisena. Ja toisilla vaan on luonnostaan, hermoston rakenne on erilainen ihmisillä. Se on erilainen myös koirilla. Sehän nyt näkee, jotkut koirat on niin kuin, niistä näkee, että ne on niin kuin, niillä on erilainen hermosto, ne on herkempiä reagoimaan, niin on myös ihmisillä, mutta sitten ajattele, miten semmoinen ihminen sitten hyötyisi, jolla on jo niin kuin, luonnostaan hyvä hermosto, se ehkä pystyy niin kuin, hallitsemaan vielä, ei ole niin sanotusti tämä stressivaste keittänyt yli vielä niin pahasti, mutta se, että mitä etuja siitäkin vielä voisi saada, kun lopettaa. So everyone will benefit for sure quitting caffeine, even those people who have so-called stronger nervous system, if you can call it like that, or them HPA axis is not still so much out of the balance.
Right.
But they can still benefit from that for hugely if they are willing to quit.
Because there's a question, you know, we all question that, like, why can some people handle it better than us? Why did we fall off the mountain? Why were we more affected by it? And we don't really need to know the why. I mean, we just were. And like we say, we're so lucky that we did, because we don't want this. My digestion's working perfectly now. I sleep like a baby now. And those are the two things that I know for sure that he suffers from, because he drinks, 5 cups of coffee in the mornings, and he has terrible sleep lately, and his digestion isn't great. And then there's one other thing. I think it's like a big sweater. I really think that the sweat thing can be from caffeine, but I mean, it's good to sweat, but like if you're overly sweaty. So yeah, he's functional, but he's having symptoms from it. And I'm pretty sure it's from caffeine, but.
Niin. Elikkä sorry.
Right, you crash. You feel your body needs it. It needs it, but it doesn't need it. Like, it needs it right now, and you have to go through quitting for it to. That's basically what we've been through. And people do. People's body needs the drug. It what Mandy was saying, the brain thinks it needs it, and the body is most likely dependent on it. And so if you try to cut it out, it feels painful. And so that's why so many people can't, it's hard to quit.
Kyllä. Ja se, että onko paljon sitten tietenkin ihmiset kysyy sitä, että no miksi sitten joku, tämä on yleisintä, että mun mummokin voi juoda kahvia 90-vuotiaana 5 kuppia päivässä ja ihan hyvinhän se pärjää, että miksi toiset voi sitten juoda sitä enemmän ja ne ei koskaan päädy burnouttiin ja miksi toiset voi, että tarviiko sitä sen enempää spekuloida, jos sä ymmärrät, mikä tämä aine on ja mitä se vaikuttaa sun aivoihin. Että meille se on ollut, niin kuin mä sanoin, että se on ollut siunaus, että me päädyttiin tähän burnouttiin. Se, että me ei olla täällä tuomitsemassa ketään, että jos joku käyttää kofeiinia ja mä tiedän, että sitä ei ole niin helppo lopettaa oikeasti todellakaan, ettei se ole siitäkään kiinni aina, että haluaisi lopettaa, ei vaan yksinkertaisesti pysty, niin sitten vaan tekee parhaansa mukaan ja vähentää. So I don't know now if I translated it right. Basically, we are not here to judge like who is quitting and who is not, but basically we know how hard this quitting can be. So everyone is always doing their best, and if you can even taper it down and try to go with a little bit less caffeine in your life, it's already a win-win. Like, you always do what is best for you. Like, not everyone is having this possibility like us. Even to hear.
Exactly. It's hard. It's so hard, but he went from 1 gram, 1,000 milligrams of caffeine to 190 milligrams. That's huge. That's the way to do it.
Hienoa. Sä oot mennyt 1 grammasta
that's a big wean. That's a big weaning.
190 milligrammaan, se on niin kuin ihan hurjan hienoa. Elikkä se, että jos sä pystyt niin kuin alkaa vähentämään mistä tahansa annoksista, I think we were like 1 gram also, about 1,000 milligrams.
On specific,
niin
on certain days for sure.
Joo, me oltiin varmasti Mandyn kanssa siellä grammassa, 1000 milligrammassa mä olin ainakin, niin että sieltä kun kylmiltä joku puottaa, eihän se kaikille, mutta ei se on oikeasti aika kova. Ei kannata välttämättä tehdä sitä, jos tuntuu, että on käymässä niin kuin meille. So we don't recommend, like we don't ever like go cold turkey. It's never like we always like we say stay safe and do it what is best for you. For some people, cold turkey works. Some people don't have withdrawals after cold turkey. Some people do end up this anxiety cycle. Some people end up this cycle even before they kind of like they are forced to quit caffeine, like their body just crashes like ours, and that's why we cannot say what is the best way for you. Niin kuin itse pitää kokeilla se, mikä on se paras tapa lopettaa, mutta usein se kylmiltään lopettaminen ei kyllä ainakaan isojen määrien kohdalla kaikille toimi.
Exactly. We would love for everybody to be free from it, but that's not our job to tell the world, save the world. I used to think that it was somewhat of my responsibility to tell everybody, and now I'm learning that that's not really what it's about. And I think our main thing is, our main mission is for people who have already kind of fallen off the mountain to understand the process is normal. The people that have the anxiety and that are struggling with since they quit, and kind of like, what's wrong with me? And it's so normal. That's our main mission. But also, for somebody like Manny who is trying to wean down, which is amazing, so amazing, that's awesome too. And but no judgment at all, but mainly for people who have fallen off the mountain. It's because it's so hard. It's so hard, and it does get better, and we're so passionate about it because it's been 3.5 years almost for me now, and I can't believe how amazing it is now. It's so amazing. It is like, I can't even explain it. There's days where I have some hormone stuff, but I'm so functional to the point where the more I do now, the more my body, it's kind of like that like that's how dopamine works. Like the more you do, the more your brain and body are like what's in motion stays in motion. But in the beginning of withdrawal, it didn't matter. It's like your body really wanted you to get rest. It was time for recovery. And it's like, it's such a beautiful thing, because it's like, the body wouldn't let us go do all the things because it knew it needed rest. Mm-hmm. And now we're more rested, and so we can do the things again. But then we know, okay, we can't stay up till 3 a.m, 4 a.m. The body knows now, okay, it's time to go to bed and get that real rest when we sleep. Yep. And so it's just, I just want to say that. I just want to say how good, because we're talking about relapse, but I just want to say how good it really does get, even if you're still having some hard days around 2 years, around 3 years. That is normal. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk more about the relapse, but I know I said enough already.
No worry. Mandy niinku pääasiassa halusi sanoa siitä, että se mikä niinku, mitä me tässä niinku tehdään, niinku, miten mä sanoisin, eli pääsääntöisesti ne, jotka on ajautunut tämmöiseen burnouttiin ja seuraa tätä kanavaa, niin tämä viesti, mitä me sanotaan, niin on totta kai, niinku, tämä on kaikille, mutta totta kai, jos sulla ei ole niitä vierotusoireita pitkään, sulla on esim. Vain 1-2 kuukausia, ja sittenhän sä jatkat elämäänsä, sun energia palaa ja kaikki hyvin ja näin, mutta sitten ne, jotka on ollut niinku kofeiinista ja koko ikänsä, tai esimerkiksi päätyy tämmöiseen burnouttiin, niin kuin me, kaikkihan ei päädy, vaikka se on ollut koko ikänsä, niin ne tarvii tämmöistä tukea, ne tarvii sitä, ne ihmettelee, mitä niille tapahtuu, ne ei voi niinku ymmärtää, että voiko kofeiinista tämmöinen johtua, ja sitten sen takia, että jos niillä on vielä 2 vuoden, 3 vuoden aikanakin on hankalia päiviä, ja on niinku väsymystä, ja on näitä hormonijuttuja, niin kuin monilla meistä naisista on, koska kofeiini vaikuttaa hormoneihin kaikkiin, niin kun me annetaan tavallaan sitä vahvistusta, kuinka paljon paremmaksi se vielä menee, ja ne oireet oikeasti ne häviää ajan kanssa, kun jaksaa olla kärsivällinen, mutta se vaan niin kuin oikeasti kestää aikaa joillekin. Ja sitten totta kai niille, jotka ei ole vielä pystynyt lopettamaan, niin sitten ollaan muuten vaan tukena, ja toivottavasti voidaan antaa inspiraatiota siihen vähentämiseen. Ja se oikeasti se olo kyllä parantuu. So yeah, we are like you said, mainly those who follows this channel probably are those who did have the anxiety burnout mostly, but of course there are all kind of followers who some are trying to quit, some have been quit relapse, coming back. So everyone is welcome here. Everyone who can get anything, you can get benefit. If you don't like my videos, so watch them. But if you can have anything about this information that we are sharing, it's all for you. Eli kaikki tämä tieto niin kuin vaan halutaan pistää ulos, että jos joku voi siitä hyötyä jotenkin, niin se on meistä kivaa.
And just about dopamine real quick, we get such a big boost of I think that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it is. We get such a big boost of dopamine from doing videos. It's like it's our way to share something important, but also feel like we're contributing to something that's important. And I get a really good feeling from doing it when, let's say my last wave, I couldn't have done it. Like I couldn't talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it. You know, I didn't want to be reminded by it or anything at that time. I was going through so much, but now you can really feel the dopamine. You really feel how it works, like how life is really about putting one foot in front of the other and getting a boost from that, getting like doing things that are creative and going to school or making something out of art, how that really does you really do just want to keep going and put it in learning more and doing more and just how natural it is, because I was getting so much dopamine from the caffeine before that I didn't know how dopamine really worked naturally. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Mandy kertoo, että me just niinku dopamiinia voi saada nyt esimerkiksi kun me tehdään näitä videoita, niin se tuntuu hyvältä. Tai niin kuin mä taisin selittää eilen siinä mun suomenkielisessä videossa, että niin kuin vaan kun mä kulen tuolla luonnossa tai jos mä teen jotain taidetta tai jos sä vaikka oot laulaa, sä laulat, sä soitat kitaraa, mitä tahansa, niin sä saat niinku siitä sit. Sä saat oikeesti, se tuntuu niinku hyvältä, sä et tarvii mitään, mikä niinku tavallaan, niinku sä et tarvii mitään huumeita tai kofeiinia, niinku, että sä saat sen dopamiinipiikin, vaan se tulee niinku ihan luonnollisesti urheilusta, liikunnasta, sulle tulee endorfiineja, sä oikeesti niinku, sulle tulee hyvä olo. Mutta sitten niinku kofeinismi tavallaan, se tuhoaa kaiken sen luonnollisen dopamiinin. Ja mitähän muuta sä, Mandy? What else did you say about end of that?
Just how the dopamine, how I never knew how dopamine worked naturally in the brain, because I was getting so much dopamine from the drug, and then the brain wasn't, because if you're getting it from the drug, your brain stops making it on its own so much, because it can't have too much dopamine or we'll go, into crazy.
Psychosis.
So it's like getting it from this 1,000 milligrams. We were up to 1,000 milligrams sometimes a day, 300 to 1,000. It depended on the day. If I went out to a restaurant and they wanted me to put more, they would like refill my coffee. Oh yeah, refill, like 6, 7 refills, and then a to go. Anyway, so yeah, depending on the day. So if you're getting 1,000 milligrams, you're getting dopamine from a drug. You're not making it anymore. That's how I've learned that it's not,
Tämä on tärkeä, eli jos sä otat sitä dopamiinia koko ajan huumeista, sun kehoon se ei tuota sitä enää luonnollisesti. Jos sä oot ottanut sen 1000 milligrammaa, niin kuin mekin käytettiin, niin ei se sun keho, ei sen tee sitä, ei sen tarvitse tehdä. Siellä kuule aivot välittää aineet rupeaa oikeasti niin kuin huutamaan siellä, mitä helvettiä ja niin kuin ajan kuluessa. Ja sitten kun sä lopetat, niin sitten tulee se totaalinen anedonia, eli sä mitään et tunne, niin kuin, ei ole tunteita, ei tule, niin kuin, mikään ei tunnu miltään, sitä se on, ja niin kuin sen takia se on tärkeää niin kuin tietää, että mitä se niin kuin luonnollinen dopamiini voi olla. Sitähän ei niin kuin oikeasti voi tietää, jos on ikänsä käyttänyt kofeiinia, niin siitä ei välttämättä ole, se on vaan niin kuin, se tila on vaan tuttua, missä on ollut. So some people who have been always using caffeine like us, we have used to be in that state where we did spike up the dopamine because we were almost in that psychotic state, like mild psychotic state, sometimes more or less.
Yeah.
But we didn't never go fully psychosis, but that probably could be close sometimes, probably in my case too. So when you quit the drug after using that amount of dopamine coming from the drug, and then you go straight to the zero, you're gonna be anhedonic. You're flat. You're gonna be flat, depressed.
You're beyond flat.
Your
yes.
adenosine receptors are like your adenosine is there, like you are burned out. Yeah,
it's so open.
Yeah, so you're gonna.
The adenosine receptors are like, where's the block? Like, why? Where?
Yes,
but because it blocks the adenosine. But I didn't even know I was going to talk about dopamine so much, but it's so interesting. So I just wanted to say a little bit about it. But yeah, if you're getting it from the drug and the brain stops making it, and then you quit cold turkey, you're not getting it from the drug anymore, and your brain hasn't been making it for how long? You know?
Yes.
And then so you quit cold turkey, you're so flat, you're anhedonic. And then and you feel terrible. And then you go to the doctor and you feel crazy. And then it's like, just stay away and let your brain start naturally making it again. So that was my point. Like it's really, really making it on its own again. And I've never felt I've only felt the synthetic form of it, the blocked adenosine, how I was like, because that's how I think in cocaine, dopamine is hit immediately. But with caffeine, the way that dopamine gets raised is by blocking the adenosine, and then the dopamine gets raised that way. So that's all scientific, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, it just feels really good to feel it naturally now. But you had already pretty much translated that. But I did want to talk about back earlier when we were talking about how ignorant I was with coffee, and my dad had this surgery. He had a few surgeries like 5 years ago before I had quit. But I was quit from alcohol, and I was getting his surgery was at like 6 a.m. So I had to get up at like 4 a.m. I was so tired, but I was able to do it. And I waited until I got to the hospital to get the coffee. And I got this really, really, I had to though. It's like, that was my mission when I got to the hospital, go to the restaurant, the cafe, and get me a big old coffee, that big. It was like that big. It was the biggest cup. And then I put my cream in it because I never put sugar. I just put lots of cream. And then I drank a little bit of it, and then I refilled it there, like at the station, and I would do that a few times, and then I would go sit down and then drink it. And then when I left the hospital, I went to Starbucks and got another coffee. Like, I was so addicted. I had to have it. It was so ingrained. And just so when you were talking about the hospital story with Riku, I really, it reminded me of that, and how I was so addicted and I had to have it, and now I don't.
So amazing. Kans oli muisto, kun se oli mennyt isää katsomaan, kun oli leikkauksesta tullut, niin kuinka sekin oli aina kahvia ensimmäisenä siellä ottanut ja sen jälkeen sitten Starbucksiin ja siitä sitten niin, että sillä tavalla niin kuin ymmärtää sitten jälkeenpäin vasta, että miten addiktoitunut on ollut. Niin kuin itsekin ajattelin, että mä aina illalla laitoin kahvinkeittimeen jo just valmiiksi ja sitten riippuen, että monelta kun mun piti herätä töihin, niin se oli niin kuin ensimmäinen, mitä tahansa muita rituaaleja. Mulla oli joogaa, kävin lenkillä mitä tahansa, mulla oli joskus paljon kaikkea, mitä mä tein ennen töitä, mutta se kahvi oli se, millä se päivä alkoi ja sitten siitä seuraavaan annokseen. Ja kofeinismissähän se yleensä menee niin, että ajan kanssa niin kuin missä tahansa addiktiossa, niin ne annosmäärät sitten kasvaa. Mutta vielä siis tuosta dopamiinista tosiaan muutama sana, niin se on aika hullua, että miten niin kuin moni kofeiinivierottuja just kokee sen tällä matkalla, että miten se dopamiini on, kun siinä kestää aikaa ennen kuin sitten aivojen välittäjäaineet alkaa taas toimia ja se keho alkaa tehdä sitä dopamiinia luonnollisesti se oikein määrä, niin ennen kuin se tasapaino löytyy, niin se olo voi olla just semmoinen, että sä vaan niinku, sä et saa edes sänkyä pedattua, sä et pysty keskittyä mihinkään. Niin kuin esimerkiksi silloin, kun mä aloin tehdä Mandin kanssa näitä videoita, mä olin vielä tulossa siitä mun tsunami-aallosta, eli silloin se mun ahdistus oli ihan jäätävä. Vielä sen jälkeenkin, niin kuin en mä nyt heti kuukauden jälkeen ollut normaali, niin mä niissä videoissa en mä pystynyt sillä kunnolla keskittyä ja kun sulla on niitä oireita, niin se olo on tosi epämukava. So I just also wanted to talk a little bit more about dopamine and that I was speaking about my tsunami wave, also the 35 months wave, when we started to, after that we started to do these videos, because I was like, okay, now we're really gonna put this info out, because this I thought it was it, like 2.5 years, I thought this is it, and I'm gonna just live my life, and bam, the wave hit me. So it was kind of a blessing. So, but anyway, what I wanted to say, that when you have those symptoms, low dopamine, you cannot really concentrate. That's the huge issue for many, like it was for me. And when we started to do those videos, I wasn't completely like normal yet. Like I said, it took me 3.5 years to really feel about me, because I still had the depersonalization, derealization, and those symptoms. So imagine that those of you who are listening that, and you are that wired, tired, you cannot concentrate, you are maybe like feeling this, feeling that, I cannot follow something that you wanna follow, you cannot read, you cannot concentrate reading. Imagine that when you are doing videos and you're feeling kind of that still. And when I started the journey, even speaking for me was hard. So that's something to think about. Also, what people are going through, when some people, when they end up having this recovery journey, it's really something that affects your normal daily life, like working, going to the grocery store, taking care of your loved ones. All of that can be really, really difficult. And for us, even the working was impossible.
Yeah.
Eli tosiaan monille, jotka sitten on päätynyt tämmöiseen totaaliseen burnouttiin eikä pysty keskittyä mihinkään ja on niin paljon niitä oireita, niin sehän sitten tosiaan vaikuttaa niin kuin kaikkeen jokapäiväisessä elämässä, että ei pysty välttämättä just töissä käymään, sä et kaupassakaan välttämättä et pysty edes käymään silloin, kun on pahoja ne oireet, että sä voit olla vähän niin kuin kodin vankina. Onko se kodin vanki sitten housebound? What is the word when you are like just in the house? There is the housebound, eli niinku kodin vanki. Monilla myös, joilla on jostakin muusta syystä semmoinen vaikea ahdistus. Se voi tulla jostakin muustakin, huumeista ja muusta, niin voi olla just, että ei pysty lähteä kotoa, että on vaan
bedbound.
Bedbound and housebound can also for some people be because so much intrusive thoughts, for example, that you are scared to go out. Eli sä voit myös sen takia olla niin ahdistunut, että sulla on niin paljon noita pakkoajatuksia ja pelkoja, että sä et vaan uskalla lähteä mihinkään.
Even if
Yes, the symptoms manifest in each person a little bit different way. Anxiety does that. So for your symptoms, you are listening that now, whoever you are, could be that intrusive thoughts for you, it's like no big deal. I had those before. Like I can still function with those, but then you have like some kind of brain pressure or brain taps, or maybe you have so bad vision or you cannot concentrate at all. So those are the debilitating symptoms that keeping in your home not doing.
Right. Yeah, everyone's specific symptoms are going to affect them and mean more to them than somebody else for whatever reason. Yes. Mm-hmm. Like somebody might be able to handle the depression. They're just like, well, I just feel the blues. I'm just kind of down, and then they can go work. But somebody else might feel the depression, and it's devastating to them. It's debilitating. Yeah. So that's a very interesting aspect of it. But yeah, in my wave, I couldn't drive to the store. I didn't want to go get my own food. I had to have my husband go to the store for me because I just couldn't. It's like my dopamine, it's almost like if I knew I had to eat, but I didn't care enough to go get my own food for me. I just couldn't do it. And now I love to go to the store. I love to go and like look at the food, and it's like I can just tell it's that dopamine. I can tell it's that motivation. It's that and it's not even really motivation so much to where, but what I really feel it is like I'm less lazy. When it wasn't really lazy before, it was exhausted. Adenosine really does have a lot to do with it. And what I was saying about my father-in-law, I just want to make it clear. I'm not trying to advocate for caffeine or trying to say, oh, he can handle it because of his nervous system and we're all different like that, blah, blah, blah. There is a reason though why he can handle it better than how when we fell off the mountain at 40 or a little bit before 40 for you. But I'm not advocating for caffeine by any means. It's just that some people can't, and I can't worry about if some people can handle it better. I can't have to just focus on me, and I can't focus on, trying to save the world and all this. But if people want to quit and they're having symptoms and it's important to them, that's why we're here. It's
thumbs up.
yeah, it's exciting. But I just wanted to make that clear because I say a lot, and it's tricky. There is a big question of like, why can some of us handle it, some of us can't? I know that a lot of us go through that question. I know I did, and not that I want to handle it. It's just kind of like, why did this happen to me? Why did I fall off the mountain? Why did I fall off the mountain? Why do I have this anxiety? There's so many factors. So I just want to make that clear because we can't focus on that really. Or I guess I just want to extend that love of like, just work, just don't worry about the why. Just kind of focus on that. You want to be free from the drug. You know that the drug is not good for our body. We know the truth. We know we can't be on it. And I do want to get to our main point of relapse because we kind of, there's so much information about this drug and there's so many symptoms and so much to talk about that, we can go on about our stories and things that happened to us and how we were in addiction, but relapse is really the main point of this topic. And I just had a little bit more to say about that. That's very important to me, and the whole long hauler, why it takes some people so long. I think it's really important. But
nyt käännellään. No ensinnäkin tuosta Mandin tsunami-aallosta, milloin siis Mandilla oli kans your tsunami wave was 27 months, right?
27 to 31 months.
Eli 27-30 kuukautta siinä välissä, niin Mandy ei kans pystynyt käymään edes kaupassa, että se oli tosi voimakas, niin kuin se monille meille on, eli siinä siis tosiaan kaikki nämä oireet niin kuin tuli takaisin, eli sehän on osa sitä parannemisprosessia, se, että miksi se tapahtuu, niin joillekin se vaan niin tulee, että se on myös ahdistuksen niin kuin paranemisessa yleensä on, että siellä tulee semmoinen isompi piikki jossain vaiheessa, että ne oireet tulee takaisin, ja ahdistushan tässä niin kuin meillä on ollut se pääjuttu, ja sen alla voi olla niin kuin vaikka kuinka paljon niitä oireita, kaikkia, niin kuin ihan fyysisiä, mitä tahansa. Mutta anyway, niin kuin Mandy tuossa pointti varmaan oli silleen, että ei me niin kuin, siis se mihin tässä kannattaa keskittyä on siihen sun omaan prosessiin aina, niin kuin mekin, että ei mehän voidaan spekuloida, että miksi joku voi sietää kofeiinia enemmän kuin joku toinen, ja ei me olla täällä tuomitsemassa ketään, että se, niin kuin me keskitytään vaan siihen omaan matkaan myös, ja sitten ollaan täällä auttamassa, kuka ikinä sitä apua tarvii. Mä en nyt tiedä, nyt tuli niin paljon asioita, I don't know if I did translate, I think shortly the point was that after I told you a little bit about your wave and then I told you what you said, that the main thing is that we have to focus in our own journey, but we are here to help everyone who needs it, but we are not here to judge or tell how to do or to speculate why some people can handle it, some people can't.
Right.
Because why would we keep doing that day by day?
To try to figure it out.
Niin, että miksi me yrittäisiin selvittää sitä päivästä toista, miksi joku sietää kofeiinia, joku ei. Ne, jotka sitä sietää, niin eihän ne tarvitse tätä apua. Those people who can handle it, they don't need our help. They just living their life, and that is good thing. Se on hyvä asia, ne elää elämää. Ja sitten on ihmisiä, jotka ei pysty sen huumeen kanssa elämään, niin sitten täällä on apua. And those people who cannot live with the drug, they know that there is help for them.
Because I think that in the beginning, when we fell off the mountain and just couldn't function like we could before, you do question it. I did. I questioned it. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to a few of us in the groups? And there's billions of people on this drug, and it's not happening to everybody. So you start to get in your head like, well, what's wrong with me? And so that's the reason why I'm bringing that up, because nothing is wrong with you. Your body is actually, and this is something, Anna, you and I have talked about. We love this. Like, it's actually, our body, I think, is very brilliant. to say, hey, get this drug out of me. Like I'm trying to give you symptoms and warnings your whole life, telling you that this drug is not great by giving you symptoms, and it just doesn't want it. I think that's really cool. I think that I don't think anything's wrong with us. I think that our bodies are actually brilliant in that way to not want this underestimated central nervous system stimulant drug in our system that we don't need, that's causing so many problems.
Joo, eli
But yes, about relapse.
otetaan toi vielä ensin, kun Mandy jatkaa tuosta repsahtamisesta. Meillä vähän nämä aiheet, ne menee aina vähän niin kuin suunnasta toiseen, että koitetaan nyt pysyä siinä aiheessa, mutta kuitenkin niin kuin, että meidän kehohan on oikeasti aika hieno, että se teki tämmöisen burnout. Että me katsotaan sitä kautta, että meidän kaikkien kehot, ne on niin kuin älykkäitä ja viisaita, ja ne kertoo meille, niin kuin, joo, näin, minulla oli esimerkiksi pakko-oireita ja ahdistusta, mun keho yritti kommunikoida minulle, että hei, sä ehkä teet jotain, mistä se johtuu. Mutta mä en koskaan niin kuin, ennen sitä burnouttia ollut selvillä, mikä se pohjasyy on, mistä se johtuu. Että siitähän tässä on kyse, kehon viisaudesta. Before you gonna go further, I just wanna contact a little bit for the chat, because chat is important. Chatti on tärkeä. No nyt otetaan vähän sieltä chatista. Jaakko said, when I dropped my coffee intake from 10 cups a day to 1 cup, had a horrible migraine. Eli varmastikin Jaakko on ollut hurja migreeni. Se on ollut tosi hienoa, että olet pystynyt tiputtaa.
Big drop, for sure. That makes so much sense.
It's
to
huge.
have a migraine. Yeah.
Juhani said he did started to quitting process, and it's already like cut half. He had cut half, and next week cutting more. And slowly, it's good. Yes. Hyvä Juhani. So. Hiljaa hyvää tulee.
As long as the goal is to quit, taper, but some people say they can't taper because they'll never quit. But again, it can be kind of dangerous to taper, or to cold turkey. So that's awesome.
Marit says, I did quit like right away. Like, did you quit cold turkey, Marit? Lopetitko Marit kylmiltään? Migraine. Yes, Jaakko. Kiitos, Jaakko. Migraine.
What did he say?
It's called migraine.
Yeah.
I don't know how I said it. I said probably.
I thought you said migraine.
I don't probably say it.
I understood it as migraine.
Yes, but thank you.
It's a big old messy headache.
Thank you. Okay, but now we can actually go to the topic. We have been over 1 hour in the live, and now we will go to the topic.
Yeah.
Eli nyt ollaan oltu livessä, niin mennään aiheeseen. I will get some water, but...
I'm not saying it right, but there's another big in Finnish message.
Yeah, Juhani. Itse lopetan pikkuhiljaa kahvin, kun lopetin lääkkeen, josta tulee vierotusoireita, lopetan kahvin pikkuhiljaa. Yeah, Juhani said that he is quitting, like tapering slowly, because he also quit the medicine, which also are causing the withdrawal stuff. So now he is quitting coffee, like tapering that it doesn't come so bad withdrawals. So that's wise, very wisely. Se on viisasta.
Very smart. Very wise.
But okay, we can continue.
You want to go get water? Go ahead.
Okay,
I'll have a sip of mine.
Chatattaa sen aikaa.
But yeah, I started off talking about relapse. And then I'm going to finish. Look at Freaka. Sweet doggy.
Freaka on siellä.
Okay, so yeah, I was saying I started off talking about relapse, but I'm going to finish with it. So I think, and what we have learned or noticing being free and being in the communities and talking to different people, and just certain people messaging me. I'm not really talking to too many people, but I do enjoy making the videos, but I am just noticing, and I think we are noticing, that a lot of people, the whole relapse conversations is because a lot of people are going back to something. And so it gets very confusing, or like, no, it takes too long, or I was still feeling bad even at 2 years. And so I went back to something and now I feel better. And it's like, okay, if you did go back to something and you're feeling better, then it's because you're on a drug that's making you feel better, because they temporarily do relieve the symptoms. But it's actually causing the symptoms that you're feeling relief from. But the main point is, yeah.
Joo, eli se, mitä me ollaan tässä, tai mä en tiedä, mitä alkanut huomaamaan tässä, kun on auttanut ihmisiä ja niin kuin, auttanut monia ihmisiä tässä prosessissa eteenpäin, niin on just se, että kun ihmiset lopettaa kofeiinin ja sitten ne pikkuhiljaa alkaa paranemaan ehkä vuoden 2 kohdalla, mutta ei ole vielä ehkä niin kuin täysin parantunut, että ne alkaa niin kuin sitten pikkuhiljaa ehkä ottaa jotakin vähän vihreätä teetä tai suklaata tai jotakin. Ja sitten ne niin kuin onkin, että hei, mä voin ihan loistavasti, että ne pystyy niin kuin menemään siihen huumeeseen takaisin. Mutta ne ei ole käynyt sitä paranemisprosessia ehkä läpi, niin sitten ne repsahtaa. Ja se aluksen se voi olla niin kuin se olo tosi euforinen, kun sä menet takaisin siihen huumeeseen. Tietenkin, kun sä oot jo vähän enemmän, sä oot parantunut jo vähän enemmän, sit sä niin kun alat mennä siihen, niin aluksihan se voi olla sille, että sun aivot lakee vau, ja sä saat sitä euforiaa siitä. Mutta sitten kuitenkin jonkun ajan päästä, yleensä aika piankin, niin sä oot sit tavallaan takaisin siinä samassa jamassa. So first if you relapse, some people they say that they have that euphoria, like I'm better than ever. I have a little bit green tea, but I'm better than ever, they say usually. Or I have a chocolate, I'm better than ever. My body can handle it perfectly. But what happens then, they start to using that. They have that idea that I'm gonna moderate so good. I always hear that, Anni, I'm gonna moderate. I'm a good in moderation. You should do moderation. And then what happened? The people are disappearing somewhere, like where they are. And then maybe some people reach out and I did go back to the addiction, and some people I don't hear anymore. Eli sitten monet ihmiset, kun ne repsahtaa, niin se on niinku aluksi, että jee, niinku mä pystyn tämän niinku mä hallitten tämän huumeet, mä otan silloin tällöin. No, yleensä niitä kuuluisia viimeisiä sanoja huumeiden kanssa, että siitä se sitten yleensä lähtee. Ei tuomintaa, mutta tätä vaan on nähty. Että tää on vaan semmoinen havainto. This is just what we have been, like you said, you have been noticing that
really?
people do relapse. Like that is the message why we wanna say that keep going, guys.
Right. Yes. But the addiction is winning for some people, and that's okay. That relapse part is okay, but I think the awareness of knowing that it really is addiction that's winning in the moment, that to say that you're feeling better, yeah, you are, but it's you're on a drug that you wanted to quit. There was a reason why you wanted to quit it in the first place, but I think that the confusion is that people quit, they don't feel good for a year or two, they expect to feel amazing and be completely free on the other side of this by 2 years, and then they don't. They think that it's something else, or that they need the caffeine. Well, I just need it, or whatever the addiction is lying and telling them. But so I think two things. I think, well, one thing is if you go to 2 years and your nervous system has calmed down a little bit, and then you can handle something like green tea, you can handle something like chocolate, maybe you can handle 1 cup of coffee, I don't know. And because the brain is not done rewiring. You're better, but the brain is not done rewiring. And then, but your nervous system's calmed down. And so you can go back if you want to, not meaning that you should, but your body is allowing you, to go back. Because for me in the beginning, and I think for you too, we couldn't, so that's another aspect of it too. So if you have fallen off the mountain, that we're basically saying this when you have fallen off the mountain and then people relapse, not falling off the mountain and then relapsing. That's a little different, because your nervous system can still handle it. It's not ready to just be completely free like ours was for whatever reason. So it can be tricky like that. It's like there's relapse Does that make sense? Like there's relapse in the addiction of the body still being able to handle it. And then there's relapse after you have fallen off the mountain. You get to a point where you're better, a little more healed, and then you relapse. Then your body allows you to relapse. Because I know that I could have some green tea and my body would let me. And I'd probably feel really, really good for a few days or weeks until I don't. But I'm not going to have the green. I don't want to. I don't need it. That's why I said what I said in the beginning. I understand the addiction now. I understand it from caffeine aspect, from alcohol aspect, I understand it from all mind altering substances aspect. And to know that, yeah, I might still have some stuff here and there, but I'm so, so, so much better. And I'm going to only continue to get better. Why, when you're between 2 years and 3 years, you're in that gray area and you're better, but like something's still missing, or I have this brain fog symptom, or I have this, or I have that. I need to go back to the drug. That's what your brain's still telling you. You're not, that's why we keep talking about, recovery takes so long and you're not 100%, you're in this gray area. That's when relapse is you think relapse in the first 3 months or first 6 months, it can be sneaky. Yeah.
Sorry, I just need to.
And I remember what I'm saying. So if you need me to go back, because I'm so passionate about this. So
yeah, don't worry. Me ollaan niin intohimoisia puhumaan tästä. Otetaan kohta chattia sitten, mutta pointti just, että mä koitan nyt vähän lyhentää tätä. Eli jos sä oot vuoden ollut ilman kofeiinia 2 vuotta sitten, moni ihminen on silleen, että ne on ehkä pikkuhiljaa just, olo on vähän parempi, mutta ei mulla mitenkään mahtava olo, tai siis ne voi olla, että ei niillä ole mitenkään semmoinen niinku upea olo, voi olla silti vähän aivosumua tai väsymystä näin. Sitten niiden keho kuitenkin kestää, tai pystyy ottamaan sitä kofeiinia vastaan jonkun verran, että ne ottaa pikkusen vihreätä teetä tai suklaata, sitten ne on, että okei, ei, mulla on niinku ihan loistava olo, mähän pystyn niinku ottaa tätä, mutta se aivot ei ole tehnyt sitä, mikä tämä on rewiring, eli ne välittäjäaineet ei vielä täysin toimi niin kuin mahtavasti, koska jos sä voit mahtavasti, miksi ikinä sä menisit ottamaan enää sitä huumetta, että sä halua, että sä tarvii sitä. Niin se on se pointti tässä repsahtamisesta, mitä me ollaan huomattu, että moni ei sitten kuitenkaan jaksa olla niin pitkää aikaa ilman, että on parantunut täysin, ja se on täysin myöskin ymmärrettävää, koska se on vaikeaa, ja siinä se addiktio näyttäytyy, että se on tosiaan kofeiini, aiheuttaa hyvin voimakasta addiktoitumista. Ja tää on niinku tärkeää vaan tuoda esille. Mitäs Tuula sanoo? Minulla tuli repsahdus vaatekaapissa, lähetettiin suklaapala ja söin sen, huomasin heti vaikutukset seuraavasta 2 paketista, heitin suklaa. Kiitos kun kerroit, hienoa. So Mandy, can you hear me?
yes.
So Tuula says that she have a relapse when she did eat a little bit chocolate, and she noticed that right away, and next 2 packets he did throw that garbage. But that is really important message to share, and us to know that chocolate really it affects. Niin se on minusta tosi tärkeää ja hienoa kun jaoit, koska se on niinku tärkeää ymmärtää, että myös suklaassa on kofeiinia, ja niinku monelle meille se suklaa oli myös addiktio, and many of us chocolate also was the part of the addiction, caffeine addiction.
Yes. What does more dice meaning what mean? What?
Yeah. What?
What? What?
Mitä Mordecai?
So the thing is that our whole point of this is that certain people are saying there's no way it takes X amount of time to heal, when we're the ones that have stayed. And it's just, this is how it's been. We fell off the mountain so hard. We're so passionate about this. We have stayed free, even though we could have relapsed on something, because it's just what happens. Like it really happens if you don't know. I'm so thankful that I did so much research and learned about brain chemistry and learned about what the addiction really, really was, and why I had the patterns and learned behaviors that I had my whole life. And then I'll finish.
Ja mä oon iloinen siitä, että se on niin kuin tavallaan oppinut tuosta addiktiosta ja oppinut aivokemiaa, niin opiskellut sitä aivokemiaa, että se ymmärtää tavallaan, että mistä siinä repsahtamisessa on kyse. Ja niin, so now you are really understanding what relapse means, even you are not going to relapse. And like we are also doing our best with Mandy. Like in our case, we couldn't. Like we were so fucked up. But like now, I think we are in that part that our body could maybe handle. Like you said, it probably could handle some caffeine, but we never want to do that. But like I know that if I would go chocolate because I was a chocolate lover, I just know that I cannot do that because then I would start to eating it very much. Niin kuin, että mä itse vaan tiedän sen, että niin paljon kun mä tykkäsin suklaastakin, niin en mä vois vaan ottaa sitä silloin tällöin, kun mä alkaisin syömään sitä ihan hulluna, niin kuin tummaa suklaata tai mitä tahansa, kakaonipsejä tai mitä tahansa, kakaonips, dark chocolate, all those healthy superfoods. Yeah. Kaikki nämä superfoods.
Yeah, because the nervous system calms down, the body calms down, we start to sleep well, we start to get the adrenal fatigue, the burnout, gets better because we've been sleeping well for 3.5 years for the most part, except for the little bit of insomnia, which is part of a healing symptom. But you get to a point where the nervous system does get stronger, but the addiction is still somewhat there. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of in this, what we've been calling this gray area, somewhere around 2 to 3.5 years, which is because you're better, but you're still like, something's missing. I feel kind of maybe like the blues sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm functional. Maybe you're going back to work. Maybe you're doing things, but you might have certain days where you still feel something's a little off. Like, even though you're better. So then you think, well, maybe I just need, and it's the addiction. I see it so clearly. It's like, well, maybe I do need a little coffee, or maybe I do need a little chocolate, or maybe I do need a little green tea, or maybe I do need a beer or whatever, even if you didn't fall off the mountain with beer. So, okay.
Niin, että ehkä siinä se addiktio just näkyy, että jos vaikka sulla ei olekaan tämmöistä burnouttia tullut ja sitten voi olla, että sun keskushermosto on siinä tilassa, että se kestää, että sä oot ollut jonkun aikaa ilman ja sitten sun aivoissa alkaa tulla näitä ajatuksia tai sun päähän, että ehkä mä tarviin pikkusen niin kuin kahvia, 1 kupin mä voin ottaa, tai ehkä mä voin ottaa pikkusen suklaata, kun mä oon silti vähän väsynyt. Ja niin kuin tää burnout-väsymyskin, tää menee ajan kanssa ohi, kun me ollaan nyt alettu oikeasti, kun me parannutaan, se uni on niin paljon parempaa ja syvempää, ja siinä syvässä unessa sitä tapahtuu just sitä paranemista ja elimistö tekee sitä korjaamista. Mutta sitten niinku se, mikä on se addiktion rooli siinä, niin se addiktio on just se, että se haluaa sut saada takaisin siihen huumeeseen. Addiction wants you to get back on drug. It does anything to get you back on drug. Yeah. That addiction part of the brain. Addiktio osa aivoista, niin se haluaa ihmisen takaisin huumeisiin. Sehän on niinku muidenkin huumeiden kohdalla näin. Sillä addiktio toimii. Alkoholismi on sama. Alcoholism is the same thing. The alcoholic brain wants you to have that one drink, but what happens when you have the one drink? You end up having all night drunk.
You can, yeah. And some people that might only be having 1 or 2, like 1 or 2 beers or 1 or 2 glasses of wine, you're still putting in a chemical in your body. You're still changing your brain chemistry. It's mind altering. Mm-hmm. So you're getting that gas, and you're getting, it is helping you feel better in the moment. And so what we're noticing, because people are like, no way, this takes X amount of time that it's taking for some people. But we're noticing because so many people are getting to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and their nervous system is able to handle it, let's say, and the addiction's winning, and they just they go back to whatever they're going back to: pills, marijuana, cigarettes, alcohol, chocolate, green tea, some form of caffeine, right? And they're in the functioning, the world that we were in, that functioning addiction world again. They're off. They're running circles around their addiction like we were. You think you're busy, you're in so you're not focusing on it anymore. You're not watching videos anymore. You think you're healed because you're more functional again, because the brain is back to that allostatic state.
Yeah.
And the people that are really staying truly free, not that we're heroes or anything. I mean, we are heroes because we're just awesome, but if you do relapse, that's okay too. But I'm just saying that the science is in our own little individual case study that we are truly staying free. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. You need to.
Joo, eli niin se repsahtaminen on sitten tavallaan sitä, että kun ne sun aivot yrittää saada sut siihen huumeeseen, ja jos se on silleen, että sä niin kuin otat sitten jotain vähän vihreätä teetä tai mitä tahansa, ja sitten sä oot silleen, että ei mulla ole enää mitään nyt oireita, mä pystynkin elämään tälleensä tavallaan takaisin siinä tilassa, missä mekin oltiin silloin, kun me oltiin niin kuin kofeinismissa, niin se addiktio ottaa niin kuin siinä sen rooli, että sä tarvii katsoa mitään videoita enää, kun sä pystyt toimimaan, ja sä oot vaan silleen, että sä saatat sanoa, että mulle ei suklaa ei vaikuta, ei mulle virheet ei vaikuta, mä pystyn ottaa sitä, vaikka sä et ole todellisesti vielä parantunut täysin, and this is also what we are hearing a lot. Chocolate doesn't affect me, alcohol doesn't affect me. Niin kuin ihmiset sanoo, että ei sitten vaikuta, että vaikka sä alkoholiakin ottaisit vaan pikkusen, niin kyllähän se silti niin kuin aivokemiaan vaikuttaa. Ja niin kuin muutkin huumeet, että vaikka se on parempi tietenkin, ettei paljon sitä ota, mutta jos vaikka 2 lasiakin viiniä litkii joka ilta tai ottaa muutama oluen, niin kyllä se silti aina jollakin lailla varmasti siihen paranemisprosessiin vaikuttaa. Se on vaan meidän mielipide, että miten me katsotaan tätä asiaa. So it's just like how we are thinking of this, like that even to 2 glasses of wine or whatever you are taking it's still gonna affect your brain chemistry and you are not maybe fully able to heal. But because of the addiction part of the brain, of course, it's gonna probably feel amazing. I can imagine for those who you are saying you go back to caffeine. I have heard like I feel amazing. Yeah, I believe that, but why did you quit?
You're on a drug. You're feeling amazing because you're...
Try to remember why did you quit. Eli yrittää sitten ehkä kun repsahtaa, jos haluaa mennä takaisin, niin kun yrittää lopettaa uudestaan, niin muistaa sitten, että miksi alun perin lopetti. Niin kuin itsekin minä aina sanoin, että mulla oli helvetin moisia ahdistuksen oireita ja pakko-oireita, kun mä käytin kofeiinia, niin mä en ikinä halua siihen tilaan enää takaisin, kun mä oon siitä päässyt pois. So I remind myself that I did have OCD very bad in caffeine. I have intrusive thoughts every day when I was on caffeine. So I can remind myself every day, I don't want to ever go back to that. Even I was functional. I was functional still. But I don't want to be functional having intrusive thoughts every day.
Having the hormone, the PMS.
Niin, että en mä silti halua, vaikka mä olisin kuinka toiminnallinen, niin että mulla on sitä ahdistusta ja pakko-oireita joka päivä, niin en minä halua mennä takaisin siihen tilaan enää. Yeah. Now shortly, I think we are 1 hour and 22 minutes.
The social anxiety, all the things. Yeah, so just the fact, I mean, this is so important. Like the fact that we have done the work, we have stayed free for this long, for 3.5 years. And we have not gone back to any other mind-altering substance. And we're seeing how it plays out. We're seeing how it just gets better and better. We're seeing the traumas releasing and how we're processing life now while we're out in the real world, how we're talking to other people and watching them. And we're just noticing that people are relapsing onto something. And that's where the true symptoms and the true healing gets lost, because we're like, well, where's all the people? Where'd everybody go? You know, why? Some people it's taking them X amount of time and some people it's not. Well, we're understanding that it's because they're relapsing to something and they're not truly understanding the whole addiction aspect. And that's okay. That is okay for that to happen. But it's the fact that people are like, oh no, there's no way you're still, healing, or that you're still going through this or going through that, even though it's so much better, that it could take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years for some people. Mm-hmm. That's why if you stay truly free, you'll watch your body heal in its own way, however long it takes for the individual.
Eli tärkeä juttu tässä, että siksi ehkä miksi monet ihmiset sitten hyökkää, että ei se voi olla mitenkään mahdollista, että sä oot 3 vuotta ja sä vielä parannet, että niin kuin mulle, että silloin kun mulla oli se paha aalto, niin varmaan monet lopetti kanavan seuraamiset. Ei se ole enää mahdollista, että se on kofeiinista. No ehkä siinä sitten tullaan siihen syyhyn, että kun sä pysyt kauan ilman mitään, niin sun keho alkaa parantua niin monella tavalla. Siellä niin kuin itse olen kertonut, että mulla on alkanut lapsuuden traumoja tulla ihan luonnostaan, niin kuin, ilman edes, että mä oon tehnyt mitään tärinää nyt, niitä on tullut luonnostaan ulos, niin kuin niitä tunteita tullut ja muistoja tullut, mitä mä en ole edes ollut tietoinen, eli mä oon niin kuin alkanut parantumaan niin monella tasolla, eli se prosessi on vaan niin kuin mennyt eteenpäin ja laajentunut, kun mä en ole mennyt takaisin siihen huumeeseen, niin se on yksi syy, miksi se niin kuin monilla ihmisillä se on sitä paranemista ja se voi kestää pitkään. Ja se on ehkä semmoinen, mikä sitten monesti triggeröi ihmisiä ja saa hyökkäämään siihen, että ei ole varmasti enää kofeiinista 2-3 vuoden jälkeen. Mutta kyllähän me tässä koko ajan nähdään, ja jos sä oot seurannut mun kanavaa ja lukenut noita kommentteja, niin useat ihmiset käytetään läpi, että no, toivottavasti nyt käänsin vähän edes oikein. But anyway, now we're gonna... Before we end, we have one question in the chat if you want to answer, Mandy. Moderka is asking, is there minimum amount of time that it takes to start feeling better after quitting? I'm almost at 2 months. Do you want to answer
Right.
that?
I mean, that's exactly what we're saying. Like, you're at 2 months, if you are feeling symptoms, that is normal. You're free of a really underestimated drug. Congratulations on 2 months, but it'll take your body as long as it takes your body. Just don't go back. Just don't. That's everything that we're talking about. Just let your body, abstinence and time, your body will heal however much time. If you have adrenal issues that you need to heal from, certain systems in the body, all these different systems are healing, the brain's rewiring, all these things are happening. We can't give a time. No one can give a timeline of how long it takes. But if it is taking you a certain amount of time, that is okay. That's our whole point. It is okay, especially if you're completely free. Your body is doing the work. So many people are relapsing to something, and our citizen, what we call citizen science, it's getting lost. It's getting lost in the relapse. It's getting lost in the addiction. And relapse is happening because of the addiction. And just stay free. It's amazing that you quit. Just stay free and watch your body heal. All the symptoms are about healing. They're awful, I know, but it is part of the healing process. It is. It's part of recovery.
Modekai kanssa kysyi chatissa, että onko tiettyä aikaa, niin kuin minimiaikaa, mitä se kestää niin kuin alkaa voimaan paremmin niin kuin lopettamisen jälkeen. Ja on nyt niin kuin melkein 2 kuukautta, niin Mandy vastasi siihen, että mitä ikinä se kestääkään, niin se sun keho on paranemassa, että just antaa sitä aikaa, että kun me ei voida sanoa kenenkään kohdalla, että kuinka kauan sulla se kestää, ja toisella voi kestää 2 kuukautta, joillakin 2 viikkoa ja joillakin vuosia, mutta se me voidaan luvata, että ihan varmasti sun keho tietää, kuinka parantua siitä addiktiosta, kun antaa aikaa, näin lyhyesti käännettynä. Nyt alkaa jo meikäläiselläkin vähän tämä kääntäminen on tuo. My translating is starting to a little bit like...
Yeah, it's hard. You're doing amazing, but it's hard.
I think this 1 and a half hour, it's a really good package now. People are hoping that we are not doing too long live, so we're gonna put this now, I think, in the back.
Maybe we can do it again in a shorter live and talk about it again.
Yes, definitely. But now before I end this live, I always wanna continue to ask if you have any questions now. Elikkä nyt jos on mitään kysymyksiä, niin nyt ennen kuin me lopetellaan tää live, niin nyt chattiin vaan kysymyksiä. Voi laittaa suomeksi, voi laittaa englanniksi. You can put Finnish or English. That's why we are here, and you are very important always. Aina
what did Tula?
Tärkeitä. Yes, Tula said, I think 3 months. 3 kuukautta oli ensimmäinen pieni toivonpalaus. Yeah, Tula says that in third month mark was first a little bit like hope, and it's slow. Like it took third month and then started to get a little bit hope, but it's slow.
Oh.
Niinpä.
See, mine was 4.5.
Mandyllä oli 4,5 kuukautta ennen kuin alkoi olotuntua paremmalta.
At 4.5, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Mulla se oli aika semmoista, että aluksihan mä en niin tajunnut, mähän tein videoitakin ihan alussa, mitä mä en koskaan julkaissut, mä vaan tein videoita silleen, että no mulla on vähän pääkipuja ja vähän outo olo ja tälleen, mutta sitten 4 kuukauden jälkeen niin sitten pamahti, sitten mä aloin saada niitä paniikkikohtauksia, sitten se niin kunnolla vyöry. In my journey it was like those first months I was like even doing a little videos, like I didn't know what was happening, I was just like, I have this very weird stuff, like I think wired tired. Then I started, after 4, I started to think that I have serious brain tumor. I was trying to do videos in Finnish, and I was like, why I cannot speak? Like, I cannot speak even my own language. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? Ja se oli niin hullua, kun ei tiennyt vielä silloin niin oikeasti, että mistä oli kyse ja että oli päätynyt tämmöiseen kunnon burnouttiin. Siinä kesti. Yeah, siinä oli normal. Ihmettelemistä. There was a little bit time to wonder what is happening.
Yeah,
Thank
it's so
you,
hard.
Jaakko. Kiitos Jaakko nähdään myös.
Definitely, we're not broken. Definitely, it's this underestimated drug for a lot of us. Definitely, we're healing. It is a process. It can be long for some people, short for some people. It's going to take as long as it's going to take, but it is so worth it. And it really does get better and better and better. And there are the ups and downs. We talk about the windows and waves. So that's something too. You might feel better. And then it's like, why do I feel bad again? It's the healing part. We have a few videos about windows and waves, don't we?
Juu, meillä.
So yeah.
We have English, but we probably have to do Finnish translator. Elikkä niinku muistaa vaan, että se on kaikki paranemista ylämäkeen, alamäkeen. Välillä helpottaa, välillä oireet voi pahentua, se kuuluu asiaan. Ja näin se menee, että ei mitään huolta, että me ollaan tehty siitä niin kuin englanniksi muutama video niistä ikkunoista ja aalloista, niin kuin missä me on puhuttu siitä, että miten ne oireet voi välillä niin kuin helpottaa ja sitten tulla takaisin, mutta ehkä me tehdään nyt sitten niin suomeksi käännettynäkin. Yes.
And one other thing, can I say just real quick?
Yeah.
About diet. We have a lot of videos about diet too, but we forgot to talk a little bit about that. Again, it's good to have a good diet. It really is. Like if I were going through this process and eating McDonald's and nasty Pizza Hut every day and juices and things, like I'm sure I would feel like crap. And then if I went from that to like, okay, I'm going to start eating a little bit better, I'm sure I feel even better. But it's not going to necessarily make the drug withdrawal better. That's time. So yeah, if you clean up your diet, you're going to feel better. But then if you go back to something, if you're at a year or 2 years or 3 years and you've cleaned up your diet, whatever, and you're feeling better, but still off. And then you go back, you're like, okay, that's the whole reason why we're talking about this. And then you go back and you relapse and you think, and then you start having green tea or chocolate. Oh, I feel better. It's because you didn't go long enough. You still needed to stay sober and keep healing. That's why you didn't feel good. It wasn't because you needed the drug. And the diet is great to have a good diet, but it's not the answer for drug withdrawal and the rewiring of the brain. So that's just me.
Vielä viimeiset asiat niin kuin ruokavaliosta, että siitä meillä onkin monta videoa, mutta se on tietenkin niin kuin yksi iso juttu, mistä ihmiset haluaa tietää, niin valitettavaa kuin se on, niin siis totta kai se, niin kuin, että sulla on hyvä, itselle sopiva terveellinen ruokavalio, ei prosessoitua ruokaa, mikä ikinä sopii. Siis täällä on niin kuin ihmisiä, jotka on karnivoreilla, on vegaania, on keto, vaikka mikä sopii kenellekin, mutta se yksi asia, mikä on tässä niin kuin tullut huomattua, niin mikä ruokavalio ei ikävä kyllä niin kuin, tätä addiktioa vie pois. Et se ei sitä täysin niin kuin paranna, totta kai se voi joillakin helpottaa niitä oireita, niin kuin Mandy sanoi, että jos se olisi tuossa vaan vetänyt mäkkärisapuskaa näin, niin totta kai sillä olisi varmaan ollut paskempi olo, mutta niin kuin ollaan testattu itsekin kaikenlaisia tapoja syödä ja silti se aika on ollut ainut parantavaa, mutta en mä sitä sano. Sä voit testata ihan mikä sulle sopii. So you can guys test, like you are probably already, many of you who watch this, you have already tested all kind of diets, and that's why people probably end up watching my channel, because there are so many doctors and guides and people who say drink this, take these supplements, eat this, and then people are still like, why my brain still doesn't work normally, like why my diet didn't fix my 30 years of caffeine use, or why the diet doesn't fix my anxiety burnout. That's how that goes with many. It's just really the time. Eli se aika vaan on monesti se ainut juttu sitten monelle.
Yeah, and then you get to 2 years, 3 years, and then you go back to a little bit of caffeine and you feel better. Well, yeah, you feel a little bit better because you're on a drug, and I can't help repeat that. Like, you just didn't give it enough time. And we're the ones that are doing the true research for everybody, because we're almost 3.5 years for me, and 2 months over 3.5 years for Ani. And we're going to stay free, and we're going to show this in time what it's really like. And there's other people like Cato who has said what it's really like. And he does say in his videos that he wishes he would have done it a little differently. Well, he didn't say it in his videos, but he would have done his videos a little differently. And I know from him that the way that we're feeling, that the way that we're still healing, even though it's so much better, that the little kinks, we call it the little kinks that are still working out, are very, very normal and 100% still a part of the process. And so I'm 1,000% confident that it just takes time, but it does get so much better.
Eli aikaa vaan vie, ja se aina vaan paranee, ja me tehdään tässä tätä tämmöistä kansalaistutkimusta itsellämme ja muita seuraten, ja oikeastaan lyhyesti niin, että en mä oikeastaan nyt ton pitemmin nyt osaa kääntää. I don't know how to translate it more better, but that's just time, and we are doing the citizen science, and like we are sure that time gonna show us like where we gonna end up. Eli ajan kanssa me vielä sitten näkemään, miten paljon vielä tästä tämä paremmaksi muuttuu.
Yeah, just to hear somebody say that they weren't better at 2 years or 3 years, and so they went back to something, they just didn't give it enough time. Yeah, it's time.
Eli Mandy haluaa vielä sanoa sen, että ne, jotka on ollut 2 vuotta, 3 vuotta sanonut, että ei vaan niinku olo ei ollut parempi vointi, niin Mandyn viesti, että etpä antanut sit tarpeeksi aikaa. Ja sama on itselläkin.
And basically they went back to the drug because the addiction won, and that is okay. And they, eventually maybe they'll quit again. But that's the reason why the addiction won. It's like, I got to 2 or 3 years, I still didn't feel great. And then I went back and I felt better because the addiction won in the moment. But that's okay too.
Addiktio voi joskus voittaa, että näin se on, mutta se ei sille mitään maha. Silti kaikki olette tärkeitä. Marit asks then, what is the reason that caffeine like rise up the pulse and it's hard to sit? Do you want to open up?
Because it is a stimulant. It's a central nervous system stimulant, so it raises adrenaline and it raises your cortisol. That adrenaline being raised makes you feel stimulated and gives you that boost of fake energy. And it blocks the adenosine, so it makes you feel less tired, so you're wired. It doesn't give energy.
Se on keskushermostomyrkky, eli se nostaa kortisolia ja adrenaliinia, ja sitten se blokkaa sen adenosiinin, eli sit sä et niinku voi rauhoittua, eli sä
false energy.
Niin, se on niinku väärää false energy, eli feikki energiaa. Siksi. Ja silloin on just vaikea niinku istua tai ylipäätään voi olla vaikeaa tehdä mitään, koska koska se on stimulantti, niin se olo voi olla hyvinkin silloin, kun me puhutaan siitä wired, tired, eli ylivirittynyt ja väsynyt, niin se voi olla hyvin semmoinen, niin kuin, että vaikea ylipäätään olla mitenkään. Mä aina sanon, että oli vaikea olla mitenkään päin. I have this Finnish saying that I did use when I was in Caffeinism, even I didn't know that I say that I cannot be in any way. I don't know how to translate it in English. There are no translator, but I just were uncomfortable no matter what, like wired. Uncomfortable, niin, epämukava olo tai semmoinen ylihermostunut olo. But now, guys, I wanna thank you all. Mä haluan kiittää kaikkia. Sorry, että tässä lopussa alkoi jo meikällä vähän väsy painaa kääntämisessä. Sorry that in the end of this live my brain didn't work so rapidly about the translator. Yritän kääntää jatkossa paremmin, mutta kiitos teille Ja pistäkää kommenttia, mistä aiheesta haluaisitte meidän tehdä liveä. Me voidaan tehdä Mandin kanssa muustakin kuin kofeiinista, esim. Alkoholista. Mandi tietää paljon muustakin. So I also want to say our viewers that put comments, what topics do you want to hear to us to do lives. We are so motivated to do these lives to help you. It doesn't have to be about caffeine. We know other stuff too. we know something, but like we are not expert in anything, but we are curious to speak about everything. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So
and we can do we're thinking about doing a little karaoke session, and we should we talk a little bit about our dream that we want to do a traveling show? Yes. Is that okay to talk about?
Joo, me halutaan tehdä semmoinen
a sober traveling show where it's like people can really enjoy and have a good fun time sober. Like I don't know, that's like a dream for me.
Tehdä, että me tehtäisiin semmoista matkustusliveistä jossain kohtaa, että selvinpäin matkustusta sitten me käytäisiin syömässä kaikissa paikoissa ja semmoista niinku hauskaa vaan niinku. We were just going to restaurants. I will come to Texas and we will go over there, and
I'll go there.
Yes.
And we'll make videos together, and we'll actually be like out and about, not just on our computer, but we'll make videos and like be out and about and do like traveling videos and go to restaurants, go to karaoke, go to the beach, go to...
Jaakko wants to see karaoke session. Okay,
yeah. What was the song yesterday? Send Me an Angel. We were talking about something. Yeah. We said, send me...
Definitely.
Good stuff.
Sober, it's gonna be selvinpäin karaokeita, niin se on kyllä meikäläiselle.
Like, I love that stuff. In the beginning of Withdrawal, I didn't care about anything, and now I'm just like, the simplest thing. Have you heard of Steven? Yes. Oh, yes.
Of course.
Here, hold on.
Mandilla on siis tuo Steven Cherniskin kirja Caffeine Blues, eli kannattaa se vaikka tuolta Amazonista tai mistä sen, jos tilaatte sen, niin senhän voi sitten vaikka jos ei englanniksi, niin Google-kääntäjälläkin kääntää. Mä silloin e-kirjana ton ostin silloin kofeiinivirotuksen alussa, mutta eipä silloin siitä paljon päähän jäänyt, että se mun pitäisi nyt lukea uudestaan jossain vaiheessa. I did read that in the beginning of my process, so the memories of that time is very like fragile, but I will definitely read that again.
Yeah, it's good to get a different perspective of like to read something in the beginning of withdrawal and then to read or watch a video later. Your perspective is totally different. But this guy was on a cup of coffee in the mornings, 1 cup, and now he's on 3 supposedly. So even that just goes to show about addiction. That's what I heard.
Steven Cherniskin, joka on kirjoittanut ton kirjan, joka on siis aivan upea tietoa, niin oli siinä yhdessä haastattelussa, niin se oli 1 kupin kahvia joi päivässä, ja nyt se juo 3 kuppia kahvia päivässä, että siinä sitten näkee, että siinä puhutaan sitten kyllä addiktiosta, mutta anyway, se tieto siinä kirjassa on hyvä. The information in the book is amazing.
Amazing. So, it really is good stuff, especially for women's health, like women's hormone stuff and PMS. It's like
yes, and Marit also have been throwing the topics. Kiitos Marit, eli alcohol and sugar are
supposedly he's on
topics.
Oh wait, what?
Alcohol and sugar, the topics that we
Who said that?
Marit, that we can make the videos.
Oh, I don't see.
Alco is alcohol and sugar is sokeri.
I don't know if he was bribed, but I just think he's addicted. I just think that he's an older man that, like my father-in-law, he can handle it, and he's addicted.
But like I mean that in the chat, Marit means that the topics that we can do videos in the future, because I asked what kind of topics we would do videos.
Oh yeah. It's just that Manny said he might have been bribed, but about the topics.
But Marit asked about
right
alcohol and the sugar. So we can
right for sure. We can talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, Steven Chernisk, read the book and find out. Lue even if Blues ja ota se tieto, mitä siellä on.
Yeah, even if he's back on it, whatever. The information in here is.
Niin, vaikka
is
se
true.
olisi takaisin juomassa, niin pitää sitten ota se tieto, mitä siinä kirjassa
on. He's addicted.
Niin, se on hyvää tietoa. Mutta nyt ei muuta kuin illan jatkoja ja have a nice evening, guys, and we always enjoy this. Thank you. Thank you, Mandy, first of all.
Thank you.
You are amazing, smart woman.
You're amazing too. Everybody's amazing.
Yes, everybody. Kaikki on mahtavia. Niin, ja kaikki ollaan tasa-arvoisia. Heippa hei!